Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another Tuesday night watch chat and on the Bobby Legs live stream channel, Bobby Legs and Friends. Happy to be joined this evening by my friends Sam and Amin. Sam from Casual Watch Reviews. How are you, man? Good to see you.
Yeah, all good. Thanks for having me. I was quick back to back. We finished my live stream about half an hour ago. So yeah,
Yeah. You guys going a little bit early side. I guess you have a lot of people from the UK watching you. Is that right? Is that why you go early
it's
or?
still a bit late for the UK. It's still a
Oh,
bit
right.
late for the
Yeah.
UK. It's like 11:30. I think it starts at them. The Sunday one is the one that we try and make
Yeah.
a little bit
The
earlier for
social.
the UK. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what do you I like that shirt. That's a great little Christmas shirt you got on there.
Yeah, my bookies.
Nice. What do you got on wrist?
I am wearing the new Citizen, the Tsukiyama,
Oh,
the
okay.
atomic moon phase
Oh,
Oh,
watch.
very
cool.
nice.
Yeah, it is nice. The
You can do
the
a solo layout
clasp,
there.
yeah, the clasp is all the clasp is like real. But yeah, it's a pretty cool. Well, it's not. It's reflecting really bad there. It's the blue dial. The moon is kind
Okay.
of peeking out there, but
Mm.
yeah, I wish
Eco
they'd
drive?
done a better job on the clasp. But it's titanium, super light, crazy light.
Yeah. Eco drive, right? I would imagine. Or
Yes, yeah. So first eco drive moon phase.
oh, cool. Very cool. Very cool. Um,
I had a Citizen EcoDrive moon phase, the
yeah.
Atessa. Remember? I
Yeah,
sent that to you, Rob.
yeah, I have it here. It's probably
Maybe
gonna be
maybe it was the Sam. This is the first non JDM one, perhaps.
Possibly, yeah. So
Okay.
maybe it's the first atomic
Oh, that could be it.
one that
Yeah,
sets the moon
mine
phase.
was an atomic. That's right.
Yeah, I think
uh,
yeah, good correction. I think
That makes
it's the
sense.
first atomic one that sets the moon phase off the atomic clock.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very
uh,
cool.
yeah, Citizen doing great stuff. I love
Yeah.
Citizen.
Yeah.
Such a great company. I mean, we got to get
Yeah.
those watches back.
Yeah. Yeah.
The citizens, big fan of those. Speaking of watches, Amin, how are you? And what do
Yeah.
you got on wrist?
Things are good. I'm wearing the Moser today. A very old, early
I
Moser
love that.
Endeavor center seconds.
It's one of my favorite watches in your collection. I've
Thank
always
you.
loved that watch. Hey,
Appreciate
I got and look, I don't, I mean, I don't know if you're participating, but Chaz from the Berg threw down the
Oh, yeah.
gauntlet the other day.
Yep.
Yeah. What we would think like maybe like a really easy task, wear the same watch for 7 days, but
Yeah.
apparently people are dropping off that I know. They just
I
they
know.
can't do it.
Dropping like flies. Our
Sam,
friends can't do it.
yeah. So this is like day number three, whenever it started, day three or day four. I'm wearing the 356. Sam, do you change your watches on a daily or within the day? Do you change it a
No,
lot?
we did something similar a few years ago. We did a 30-day watch challenge,
Yeah, see,
and
that's for men. That's more for men.
Mm.
We're children. We can't do.
yeah, well, actually, Lee, who's a member of it was when we had a Facebook group. It was that long ago, but Lee, he actually wore a Pagani for 30 days. And he's a groundskeeper at a golf course. And by the end of it, it was all that he held the bracelet together with safety pins. But yeah, I do. When I get a new watch, I wear it a lot. So there is a time that I'll wear a watch for 7 days. But actually, well, or is that true? I do change at the weekend, so maybe I'm lying a little bit there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm. Last week, Amin and I were going through an exercise on in our collections. Like, if there's a watch that if from your collection that you're told that you can only wear it one watch from your collection for 6 months, what would it be? And this is the one that kind of like I chose, and so me, 7 days. That's nothing. I love this watch. I could wear it. I could wear it. I could wear it 30 days. I'm not. I won't. I mean, 7 days is good. I mean, I like to switch it up. But hey, let's say hello to the chat. I'm going to run it through it very quickly. Maison is here wearing his Moser Heritage on wrist tonight. Marceau is wearing his Moser Venture
I
XL
just saw
in
that.
rose.
Yeah,
Wow.
great watch. Yeah.
Awesome watch. Awesome watch. Underachieving watch collectors here wearing his DHS 41. James is here wearing the North Flag tonight. Some great watches that you guys have on today. Hey, Rick is here. How you doing, Rick? And he's wearing his VC Vacheron Constantin QDL. Hey, Wilson's here. Good to see you. Brownie is also here. We're at S&P Blues. Wow, awesome. Steve Timell is here. Keith, hello. How you doing? There's Chaz. Good to see you, Chaz. Hey, Thomas. Good to see you. Did Thomas join you this evening?
Yeah. Thomas was on. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thomas stays up late, man. And he's a great supporter for a lot of us content creators here on the US side. So appreciate Thomas very much. Bill K is here. How you doing, Bill? Peter C, what is up? Good to see you. And I think Scatterbrain is here. How you doing, Scatterbrain? Good to see you on this evening. Wayben, how you doing, Wayben? Also good news. Good to see you. AK, good to see you, AK. Thanks for joining us this evening. Hey, Hobby Bobby's here. Caliber is here, and Anish is wearing his S&P Tokyo 2020. Some great watches. I love it. I love it. Speaking of great watches, right? And maybe watches that a brand that has wasn't kind of fell victim to the quartz crisis, but really had a great reputation, and it was one of the premier watches back in the day, and kind of had a resurgence, I feel like, in the last couple of years, as a people got into vintage, and that is Universal Geneve and Breitling acquiring this brand, and it sounds like it could be a very exciting move. I feel like Breitling will probably, this is my guess how it's going to go. They're going to do a lot of reissues and reinterpretations of some of these old Genèves. Maybe I'm not saying anything profound here, but that and what I'm hoping that eventually they get that out of the system a little bit, and then they start kind of doing some new original type designs, maybe based on stuff from the previous catalog. Sam, how do you read this? Is this a good day for watch collectors and Universal Genève?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we had quite a good discussion on our live stream about this. So Thomas had some good points, and Mark, who was on, Mark thinks that it's going to be 3 years before we see anything, a watch come to production, and his feeling was that when it does come to production, he thinks that it's going to be 10,000 plus. That Breitling, that Breitling have kind of pushed the limits of perhaps what people will pay for a Breitling and within their current catalog. So tacking Universal Genève on to be the premium one to take them into the 10, 20, 30,000 type of price bracket. And then Thomas had a good point, thinking maybe they might use Kinesi to make some movements, but it's hard to say because Universal Genève were known for their in-house, weren't they, at the time? And hence the reason why they're quite difficult to get serviced.
Yeah. Amin, did you own a UG at one point?
No, I've never owned one. I feel like this is a long time coming, right? Because we've seen so many of their vintage watches, like since the early days of Hodinkee, really, people speaking so highly of them and wishing they would make a comeback and modern versions. So my understanding is that when the pole router was a thing, it wasn't very expensive compared with other, for example, compared with other watches. And I mean, I know they don't have to stick by that, and of course, it depends on which watches they reintroduce, like their chronographs, versus their three-handers. I don't know. That's interesting to think about them positioning Universal Genève as a higher price tier than Breitling. That didn't even occur to me. I think it's an interesting thought.
So Sam, do you think and who you said
it was Mark who mentioned it? Yeah.
So do you think they just skip over the low hanging fruit, which would be the reissue and reinterpretation of some of their vintage models and go how are we talking about precious metal pieces or precious metal versions, full gold, which I think they had anyway. I mean, how did he, if he mentioned it, how do you envision what those first models are going to look like?
Yeah, So we not to just talk about my live stream, but we
That's all right.
talked about the fact that they've already tried to relaunch it, that Universal Geneve. So there's a whole website that has watches on it that like modern watches, but they were never, as far as we can tell, they were never actually available for sale. So there's a Universal Geneve website with modern ones. I think it was Thomas or
think I
Mark made a
remember
good
that.
point that
Yeah.
that maybe there's other brands that have done a better job of the pole router now. Baltic,
Mm.
for an example. I think Laurie has got one that looks like a pole router. There's a few other brands that have done a pole router. It's become more
Yeah.
of a design language now, that kind of synonymous with an Art Deco look. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not their design, right? Those other companies, it's not their watch. They can make something that pays homage to it, but you can't beat the original. If the actual company is brought back and they do it right, I mean, I'm not a huge Pole Router fan or any Universal Geneve fan, but I think in some ways I like the idea of them charging more, right? Because it'll let them make better watches. I mean,
Yeah. So much potential here, especially with the history, maybe more so than most of these brands, that these Phoenix brands, right? Um, I believe Genta designed the pole router. They need to, so they have they have a connection with one of the most famous watch designers to have ever lived. So a lot of potential, and again, like and I agree with Amin. I didn't see this angle of maybe higher priced models coming out there. Like I just automatically went to like all these Phoenix brands. They just go back to the playbook and then they just pull out a reissue and call it a reinterpretation of it. And that's what I figured that they would do. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe they don't do that. Caliber is saying he loves the idea, but he will reserve judgment to see how it pans out in reality. Fair enough. Fair enough.
we're gonna look at a Longines soon.
Mhm.
Imagine if Swatch Group had Longines in the over 10,000 category, right? Because that was a high-end brand,
Mm.
right? That
Mhm.
Swatch has positioned in their like lower mid-tier, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting to think about how all their whole lineup would look like if Swatch decided to put them, you know, above Omega
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
price-wise.
Fair enough. Yeah. Rick's saying I think it's a good move by George Kern. Mizone saying so. Breitling was technically an independent. Now they are their own group. I wonder if they'll snap up and any other independent brands and build up their portfolio.
Yeah.
Quite
I think
possible.
Universal Geneve is sort of we were sort of toying with the idea of whether it's a low risk. So it's a brand that people know and they're fond of it, but all the people have tried to relaunch it. So if Breitling, it's low reputational risk for them if it doesn't quite,
Mm.
if they don't quite pull it off. It's not something that a lot of, I guess, general watch public. It's not a brand that people really hold close to their heart. Like if it was, I can't think of another brand. Maybe Hoyer and Tag taking it over or something. But if it was a well-loved brand from the past that
Yeah.
Breitling then messed up, would
Yeah.
that be more of a risk?
Rick's saying this will totally build. They will totally build on the UG's past catalog. There's a ton that they can do. It seems like that be the way to go, right? I mean, like, and who could fault them? You know what I mean? Starting off that way, bringing back the brand with some of the classics, and then, but for me, like okay, you do that after a while, that gets a little bit old. Let's see some innovation, even if it's just design. Mizone saying, and Breitling do solid quality watches. I expect their B01 family of movements to make their way into any chronos that they do. Okay. Yeah, Genta designed the pole router, but I don't know if he was before or after he designed the Pi Pan Dao Omega constellation. Thomas is saying, I feel that they may try to utilize Breitling's skills at chronograph production to release a chronograph based on their past UG models. I'm for that. Why
For
not?
sure.
Yeah.
I think no
Um,
brainer.
and yeah, I think that's caught up with the comments on that one. Okay, well, so more to come, more to come. I hope it doesn't take 3 years, but that probably makes some sense there, to go from where they are now to actually putting something out. And they're going to build it up. They're going to need like 6 months to build up marketing wise, and hopefully they have a big grand event um, plan for this kind of stuff in the future. To really bring the old brand back out there again. Now, moving on, and Amin was alluded to, and it's in the title. We Hodinkee did a collab. Hobby Bobby brought this to my attention today. I didn't know this was out, and a collab with the Longines Spirit Zulu Time. Zulu Time Longines fan favorite. I don't know too many people who dislike the Zulu Time, the design language of it. I think it looks great. Um, but they did a collab with Longines, and I got to tell you, from what I'm seeing so far, I really like it. I like the stainless steel bezel. It it's very, very tool looking watch to me. It reminds me of that Seiko, that is it, the SPB 143, one of those Seiko 200 meter MM200 divers with the stainless steel bezel, and there's a Tudor like that, right? The Tudor Black Bay with the stainless. I like that look, right? Of course, $3,800 because it's it's Hodinkee collab, which is not too far off from the original prices. But to me, still the Zulu timer to go is that gold cap one that came out a few months ago. I love the way that watch looks. Amin, what do you think? What do you think?
I like it. Yeah, I think it's good. Good limited edition. It's titanium, right? It's grade 5 titanium. It's good looking. I think the Zulu time is a great watch. So I think they did a good job.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the Hodinkee collabs, but I like this one. Sam, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I like it, but that's kind of, I like it. I don't love it. I don't know whether I would put my own money down on it.
Mm.
I don't. Having said that, I don't quite know why I wouldn't. It's playing it safe, I guess, but
Yeah,
it's nice. Yeah.
yeah, playing it safe for sure.
I'm not in love with it. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna go buy it either. But I think it's a good release.
yeah, it's pretty safe, right? People say it looks like a Tudor Black Bay Pro, but I think it looks better, and also it's a better watch. I agree. I think I like this better than the Black Bay Pro. James, he loves the watch, hates the obnoxious co-browning on the case back. Detroit Spartan, just keep in mind Wilson also bought a certain Borealis, so there's that. Okay, I'm done. Okay, all right. Keith loves this Longines. He loves it. Um, Titanium was a good call from Keith, as Keith is saying. Marceau saying, I still prefer the green bezel Zulu time with the gold printing. That's also a very good watch. And I like those too. I like the stars on those ones, on the 5 stars above the 6 o'clock on the regular Zulu timers. Wilson likes the original. This appeals to me much more than the Black Bay Pro. Wayman saying that he wants a Zulu time. It might be my next watch. The Hodinkee one does nothing for me. And forget about the premium.
The premium's a little steep, right? Is that the titanium factor plus the Hodinkee?
I guess, but it's really not that much more.
Really?
I mean, like I think the regular version is like 3,150, 3,200.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The one that I like, the gold cap, that's like 40, close to 4,200.
I guess you can get a discount on the regular one, but not this one.
You can.
Right?
Yeah. I would imagine so. Yeah. Is this 39? I believe it is.
Yes.
Joey loves his Longines Zulu timer. Yeah. Yeah.
This would look good on leather.
I think so. Right.
With the way that
leather.
steel bezel on brown leather, right? on like a medium brown because the steel, it would kind of highlight that. It would contrast that.
I totally agree. I like these the watch better on a leather strap. Even the other Zulu timers as well. The bracelet doesn't really do anything for me when it comes to the Zulu time.
Mm,
But yeah, definitely a much better looking appeal, much more of an appeal to me than
mm.
Kelly. Hi, Bobby. I received a prize. Yes, from your previous giveaway. Congratulations, Kelly. I'm glad you got it just in time for Christmas. Awesome.
Very cool.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else before we play. Guess what's in Amin's eBay cart this wish list this week. Do
What
we
did
have?
you guys think of the
Yeah.
Nico? Did you see the Nico Leonard PRX?
No,
No,
So
I have it.
is it a special edition or did he mod his PRX or
I'll
what's the
put you the
story?
link in the private chat. So he's
Yeah.
modded,
Okay.
allegedly modded a PRX,
Mm.
sold out, but it's been causing a little bit of a stir because of it's a quartz PRX and it was about $1,200, $233, and it's got Mickey Mouse's. It's called the FU watch.
So
Mm.
silly.
So yeah, he was taking a little bit of flack on this watch, but apparently all 100 have sold out.
What did he charge?
$1,266.
Wow.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So I take it you may know a little bit more about this than I do. Sam, was he not a fan of the PRX and he wanted to kind of just poke some fun here? Is that what's going on?
No, it's no, I think he just wanted to. I think this was just. I think he is a fan of the PRX. I think he just wanted to do like a one-off because I think he uses that as a bit of a catchphrase, doesn't he, on some of his shows? It's Hublot that he's very famous for hating, and apparently he's
Wow.
going to destroy a Hublot on YouTube, the Hodinkee limited edition collab. But yeah, he kind of released this, took a bit of slack for it. He did a live stream with JJ from JJ's Hangouts, talking about it a little bit. But yeah, it looks he's done it in collaboration with this brand, this one-off, and yeah, it appears that yeah, they're going to be hand painted, and it appears that he sold them all out.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, I mean, that's great. I mean, I'm glad he sold them out.
I have no issue with this.
I don't have a problem with it either. I think it's silly. But I mean, like, I'm not, it reminds you, what's that Moser that had like the eraser? Was it the eraser?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what the first thing that popped in.
Yeah, like the second ones that they did. Like
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, like, how does he? The question is like, how does he like get away with it? Like, and like put a kibosh on this. Does Mickey Mouse? Does Disney say, well, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, that is it. Yeah, I mean, I just reviewed on the channel a highly customized G-Shock with the painted dial. That was sort of actually cheaper than this one, but I guess all you do is void the warranty, don't you? I don't know whether you.
Right. But I mean, like, I guess, like, I'm wondering, like, if they come after you, especially because it's like, two middle fingers, right? Like, just to have any, probably no leg to stand on or anything like that. But I'm just wondering if they get like a little cease and desist letter and say, hey, you can't do this. But maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know.
Like you couldn't put Mickey Mouse face on the watch, right? Then Disney comes after you. But
yeah, maybe the hands are okay.
I don't know.
Do you ever see that like on like pickup trucks? Like, you see like Calvin peeing on like,
Yeah.
like a Ford or a Chevy or something like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I guess that goes to this, right? I guess so it's like kind of like harmless in a sense, and nobody gets their, panties in a bunch. It is a quartz watch costing 330 pounds that he has had the dial painted and is selling for over 1,000 pounds. An absolute cash grab. He should have donated the profits to a charity, seeing it as Christmas time. Fair enough. It's right at Nico's maturity level. Okay. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Rob is saying here Disney would come after him. I bet Tissot is not happy.
Hmm.
You can't ruin a good Tissot name with this foolishness, says Tissot. All right. Okay. Super, super interesting. Um, let's see here. Anything else, guys, that you guys want? And Chad, if there's anything you want to us to address or talk about, please put in the description, well, in the chat. Hey, I'll jump in first with the eBay thing. I got a couple of things here, Amin,
Yeah.
this week that I think, well, let's not do that. So yeah, I got the nomoses and whatnot. Look what came up. Look what came up this week.
Are you sharing it? We don't see any.
I probably should share my screen. Yeah, you're
Yep,
right. I probably
yep,
should
yep.
share.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm a big sucker for this brand. This is the Gino. I can't even talk tonight. Duograph 40 series Panda Pilot Pro chronograph. So good, so good.
That's cool.
It's
I like it.
it's a really cool watch. 1795, a little steep, I think, in this market. But something I'm definitely keeping an eye on. And if anyone is a Zinn fan, you should be interested in this piece, because when Zinn sold his Helmut Zinn sold his company, he took over Guinaud a few years later. I guess he was bored at 1,000 years old or whatever he was when he sold Zinn, and Guinaud, who had made cases for Zinn in the past, had a relationship. The Guinaud, there was a business relationship there between the two brands. It was originally a Swiss brand, and Helmut Zinn moved it over to Germany. And so if you there's a lot of there's some chronos that you like that are Zinn chronos that you think it might be a little bit pricey, you get the same exact watch with Guinaud, and probably save a few bucks here and there. What about Oshino's Mally charge that Watch Gringa is buying subs? Is that a thing?
Oh,
Is
man.
that am I being trolled here by Valve 789, or is that like a real
You think
thing?
he's making it up? I mean, I can't imagine why you'd make that up.
He's like throwing he throws a lot of like insinuations out there, that Ocean.
He's just
like
trying to get attention, I think.
firing away, right, Sam? I mean, like,
Yeah, I mean, she does a Brit does a fantastic job, and it's not like, I don't even think she's at 100,000 yet. She deserves, she does whatever sub she's got, she deserves, and she does a great job, and camera work and everything.
yeah, I mean, like, I mean, her and her husband do
Yep.
some great work together, and she's got a personality, right? That a lot of people like to see. I mean, she's cleaned up her act a little bit, right? She's did a lot of episodes and streams drunk, but anyway, I think she's okay. I like her stuff. I like her stuff. Yeah, and that's really all I got this week. And
I bought a watch. Like, I can throw that up.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know this, Rob.
I know. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
being dramatic.
I'll share my screen. It didn't come yet. It's supposed to come tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm joining you with in the Damasco category.
Ooh.
So this is the Damasco DC82. It's their I think they more about Damasco than me. I think they produced this movement themselves. It's modeled after it's a modified kind of version of a Lamagna, and it has a jumping center minutes chronograph. So this airplane shaped hand is a 60-minute counter, right? That is modified to use the entire dial instead of a sub dial. And I have to time some things at work, and I can't see those tiny sub dials on regular chronos.
Yeah.
So this kind of center minutes chrono works really well for me, and then the chrono seconds is also on the center. Um, I
So
think
so
it's
so
super
Sam,
readable.
Sam. So I think Amin's got to fill you in a little bit more on this. Amin Amin wanted to get a work watch. Now Amin, I don't know if you've ever seen like some of Amin's watches in the collection. He's got amazing pieces. He's got like tool type watch. He's got a Seamaster. He's got some great watches that can keep some great time. And time is stuff whatever he needs. But me and the fellas think that Amin he just wanted to buy another watch. Sam,
Um,
have you ever in your line of work, have you ever bought a watch for your line of work?
Well, the thing is, somebody actually asked a question on one of, I think maybe been the Sunday Social, about the what's the best story that you've told yourself about why you need a watch, and it was a really, I forget, I don't know if it's perhaps somebody in here, but it was such a really good question because it really makes you think about, I definitely think about the stories that I tell myself to why I need a certain watch. But have I bought one specifically for
like with the
work?
Seamaster, if I'm timing something, you have to turn the bezel, right? You're sitting next to somebody at work, and then it's like click, 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 click. You know what I mean? And then
So
Yeah.
you don't want to offend that other person,
it's
right?
like,
With the click.
why does he keep doing that kind of thing, right? Where this is just a discrete sort of, one push and off to the races.
Yeah, I mean, I work from home, so I guess it's hard
Yeah.
to, or I'm home based when I'm not traveling, so for work. But yeah, and plus when I do travel and I meet up with the other, I travel with the sales team. They now know me as like the watch guy, so
Yeah.
feel compelled to bring like a different watch each time, or to have some kind of story about why I've got a certain watch. But
Yeah.
I actually got some guys with some really nice watches at my work, so it's always good to see.
Yeah. I'm trying. I'm sure I've told myself. Um,
I'm getting killed in the chat.
yeah.
Oh man.
Um, agree. Amin just needed another watch under 5K. Um, let's see here. I mean,
Some nice comments. Thanks, guys. And some
I'm trying
ribbing.
to think. I know I've given myself excuses not to get watches, right? Which I think
Mhm.
is probably pretty common, right?
Mm.
But I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think that there's anything egregiously that I've told myself,
Oh, come
right?
on. You're not thinking too hard.
I,
Let's
I
let's think about this. Stuff you've told yourself. I know I've heard you sell yourself on watches before. I'm sure of it.
yeah. I guess my memory is failing me at this particular moment in time. But
All the time, all this stuff like I need a dress watch, I need a dive watch, I need this,
yeah.
that, I need a German watch. Like these are all things we tell ourselves, right?
No. But I just like German watches. That I don't
Yeah.
need. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't need to
But you
like.
got rid of them, and then you were like,
Well,
I
I
need
got
need to get back into them.
Yeah, no, but I got rid of them because I was saving, for the sub. You know what I mean? Like I got rid of, that's the reason why I sold those watches because I kind of wanted it. I wanted it to be budget neutral when I was, a term that I learned from you, Amin.
Mm,
You
mm,
know,
true.
budget neutral, which is the greatest thing that we tell ourselves.
Right, right,
Especially
right.
oh, this purchase will be budget neutral if I sell
Yep,
some other watches, right?
yep.
Um, but no, but then and then I got back into it because I fell in love with this watch when it came out, and then I was like, okay, I got to get back into my German watches because I missed it so much. But I don't think I've
I'll
ever
think
told
of
myself.
better. I'll think of something better. You've told yourself some stories.
I'm sure I have. So nothing, Sam, nothing coming to mind about what you told yourself or
Oh, lies. I think of something. I'm sure
yeah,
there's something that I've definitely, usually GMT for traveling, or I need a GMT
yeah,
for
yeah,
traveling for keeping two time zones. But then
yeah,
I'm setting my setting my watch off my phone anyway half the time.
yeah.
So
Absolutely, absolutely. Tom's saying, which watch would the panel like to see drastically reduced in price in the January sales to be able to treat themselves for Christmas? How about all of them? I mean, I want all of them to be reduced in. um, so like right now, like I have my wish list on eBay, right? But I'm not really seriously looking at watches. I'm not really seriously buying anything. So like right now, like I'm not even thinking that way, But is there anything out there, Ahmed, that drastically reduced? You're like, that's a no-brainer. I'm going for it.
In the current like new watches?
Yeah, I mean, well, Thomas is saying which, if you see drastically reduced in
Nothing I
price,
can think of that would be
yeah,
realistic,
yeah. Sam, anything?
It wouldn't come down enough to make it make sense, but for some reason I've really like that Tag Heuer Skipper.
Oh,
What,
yeah.
6,300. It's a bit of a.
Yeah,
All I've been buying on eBay is vintage G-Shocks, like a JDM G-Shocks, MRG ones. I bought one, and actually, this is a excuse I told myself. So I bought. I'll just get it one more. Show and tell. So 1 second.
Yeah.
I bought actually this feeds into our last topic. So I saw this MRG, which was one of the original MRGs. It's tiny, and it's not a baby G. It's like the original one. But the thing that I didn't realize, I bought it from Japan, and I fell the curse of the fact that it's not. I can't the bracelet. So I had to buy another one, of course, because buying another one was cheaper than buying the links separately. So that was the excuse I told myself. Oh, well, you might as well get it, because then you've got the extra links. So that was this week. But this one's got 30th anniversary of the Casio Workers Union on the engraved on it. So I don't know if it was some kind of gift, but yeah. So I've got another one of these coming, just so I can use the link.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Joy B saying, how did Amin ever get any work done before this watch?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's going to improve my productivity by at least 20%.
Yeah. Then it's a no-brainer.
That's the plan.
Will you be able to write this off on your taxes then?
Yeah, I mean,
as a work expense? No? Yeah, maybe not. Yeah,
genius.
Yeah. Caliber saying, I'm trying to use that line of reasoning with my ID on why I need a Pepsi. I'm not even a pilot. I don't travel. So far, they're not buying it.
Keep trying.
Peter C says, I'm retired, but I still need a quote-unquote work watch. Yeah. Marcel says, I use my blue side at work to time students during practical exams. Did I need a blue ceramic watch for that? Not really.
Marcel, now you got to add the center minutes chronograph.
I'd love to meet Marcel one day. Detroit Spartan says, I need another diver for installing an irrigation, even though I haven't actually done the work in a decade. I think we're having some good excuses here.
If you guys think carefully about your work, I bet you can justify something that applies to your work.
My company should buy me a Patek 5212A weekly calendar. Would make tax prorations so much easier to estimate.
There you go, Joey.
Rick's saying, I'm not buying another watch until I need one for work. Here we go.
I broke a watch fast, but it's for work. I mean, it's
no. We can't fault you on that one. Yeah. I need a dress for wearing at night after the kids go to bed, like says.
I think he meant dress watch, but it works just as well without the watch.
I need another dive watch so I can go swimming across my desk. James says, my GS is in service, so I bought another GS to wear with a GS lapel pin to color match my pair of Air Jordans.
Nice, James.
Wow. Caliber saying, I'm already looking to marry a German girl so that I can buy more German watches.
So funny.
Chat, you're doing a great job today. My two biggest causes are net neutrality and watch budget neutrality. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to keep going here. Chat is saying, patient. Am I having abdominal pain? Click Amin. Thanks for the visit. My watch says our time is ended. Every time I say, I'm pretty sure every time I say budget neutral, I lose every time, but I keep doing it. There you go. Oh man, good stuff. Amin is a buyer of the LM101 at 35K. Is that true, Amin?
Still true. Still true. Or LM1. I don't think they'll ever come down to that, but that would be my breaking point.
Scott's saying I need a watch with a leather band so that when I type on my MacBook, I don't scratch it with my bracelet. Fair enough. Fair enough. Don't bother buying leather bands for your current watches. Just buy a new watch with a leather band. So just a new watch. Sam, any excuses coming? Have you thought of any? I'm just putting you on the spot, man. I'm just kidding. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I think more excuses to sell watches. I think in my own mind, I think I'm often looking at my watch box and thinking, should I sell this? And what's the excuse? There's some tiny microscopic detail that I can't, get my head around, or I've not worn it for a while, or something like that.
Speaking of selling, do you find yourself like does the end of the year do anything to you where you just kind of like do a quick mental review of your collection and say to yourself, oh, I should probably sell some watches. It's the end of the year, or I should probably buy some watches. It's the end of the year. Does that ever happen?
Yeah, I'm doing it at the moment. Actually, I'm selling a bunch. I've set up that little store on District, and then I've also put a few on eBay. I put that the Grand Seiko on Chrono 24, the replacement Grand Seiko. I just can't warm to them. I don't know. I just can't warm to a Grand Seiko at the moment, even though I love the idea of them.
Yeah.
So I've had a go. I bought a spring drive and I bought a quartz. So, and I had a vintage. And when I sell the quartz, I'll have had none left. That's all this year. So I would have bought 3 in 1 year, and I've got 1 left.
I mean, Sam, I feel like you're not the only person. I feel like Grand Seiko this year, so many people have gone hot and cold on Grand Seiko. Flipped so many times. People who love the brand and now just don't have any. People who never thought of the brand, or gave any second thoughts, I now have like maybe 1 or 2 in there, and I'm really impressed with the quality. I just feel like it's so divisive, the brand, and it seems like it's like their own doing, right? I mean, like they're doing it to themselves.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, the vintage one, I actually didn't intend to sell. I live in Florida, but my headquarters for the company that I work for is in San Diego. So I was traveling to San Diego, and I was chatting to one of my work colleagues, and she was really wanted a Grand Seiko. She didn't know whether to go vintage or new. So I took the vintage one with me on a work trip, and we were in a meeting, and I said, oh, I bought this to show you. And she pulls it out, looks at, put it on her wrist, and the look on her face, I immediately knew that this was no longer my watch. And she's like, oh, where did you get this one from? And I'm like, I would consider selling it if you wanted. So that's how we got it. And I just had it serviced and everything. So even though it was vintage, I bought it in Japan. So I don't think it ever left Japan. In 1969 it was. And I just had it serviced. So I knew it was working perfectly, because I always feel weird about selling vintage watches to people I know or non-watch people.
Sure.
But I just had it serviced. But yeah, the look on her face was priceless. And I wish that I look. I remember when I used to look watches like that, where I was like, oh my god, that's absolutely amazing. It's occasionally happens, but
yeah. Any kind of like at year end kind of review of your watches, and do you get to a point where you're like, I need to sell some of these? Like, does that happen to you?
I think I would say year end, just periodically when the collection gets a little bigger. I think I may want to sell some, but the way the market has been, I just feel like if I'm going to do some of that, it doesn't seem like a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been getting silly offers on that Grand Seiko, like silly offers.
So maybe just better to just sit on things for a while.
Yeah, agreed. James says whenever he sees a small balance in his PayPal account, he thinks of it as a discount for his next watch.
That's also true.
Or that pay in full on PayPal, that's got me a number of times. They're paying for because you're like, oh, it's only $200 a month. I
Yeah.
won't even notice that.
Absolutely. Hey, Thomas, great question. What watch would you wear on Christmas Day? Anything special, or just first watch you pick up? No, no. I think I'm going to put some thought into this one. Because I will. Well, Christmas Eve is kind of like we go to my wife's and uncle's house, and that is like the Italian seven fishes. That's like my favorite eating day of the year, right? Even more than like Thanksgiving. Like I look forward to this. Like Christmas Day is a sad day for me because I know I have to wait a whole year for the next Christmas Eve. That's how important it is to me. So I'm gonna wearing loose fitting pants, and that is my main decision. And then the second one is like it's gonna definitely be the watch that I wear. Amin, anything like that for you? Are you gonna put any thought to anything, or are you just gonna just grab and go on Christmas?
Yeah, I can't think of anything that'll be like specifically for Christmas,
Mm.
but I'll definitely, you know, choose one that it kind of that feels special on that day, but I don't know which one it'll be.
Yeah, Sam, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I probably might wear the green. I might wear the mint green Rolex.
Oh
Because
yeah,
that's
good, yeah,
the most Christmassy
sure,
green
sure.
that I've got.
Yeah.
But I have to see how it comes. My parents are coming over from the UK, so it's going to be a
Nice.
interesting and
Nice.
fun times.
Joey B, buying a watch for Christmas cooking looks like I cook a lot on Christmas, so I watch for water resistance and timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, very very good. Hey, did Grand Seiko service the vintage GS?
No, I got it done by a Seiko specialist called John Sachs, I think. He does a lot. He actually serviced my speed timer for me, full
Mm,
speed. So he's a hobbyist, but he does them, and he serviced my 1969 Grand Seiko. He did actually have to replace a part. The rotor had been kind of wobbling in it, and it bored a
mm.
hole a little bit in the rotor, so it kind of made the screw loose. But no, it was a Seiko Todd who joins me on the live stream. Who's like a big
Yeah,
Seiko
yeah,
collector. He put
sure.
me in touch with this because Spencer Klein's. I don't think he's accepting any, or at least he wasn't a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few. And there are not many of them. I think there's a guy in England, Irish trailer, but this guy John is in Virginia, I think, or
Mm.
somewhere around there. So a hobbyist, but he does an excellent job. Like he guarantees it, and he sends you photos of every single thing that he does.
Oh, nice.
And not just like crappy
Yeah.
with his phone, like really good. I've used some of them. I used some of the photos in my videos of the speed timer that I did when he did that, when he serviced that.
Oh, very nice.
Real
Very nice.
passionate Seiko fan.
Scott saying, yeah, the type of offers I'm getting, one of my watches, I might as well just trade it in when I'm ready to buy.
Do you know what I found interesting is Hodinkee messaged me saying, "Hey, we're doing a trade in." So I put the Rolex in just to see like what would they offer me, and they offered me. They didn't offer. They said we are not offering cash at the moment for these models.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They offered a gift voucher that was very generous. So my watch, I think, with the mint green smooth bezel is between 10 and 12 on Chrono is what they're asking for it.
Yeah.
And Hodinkee offered a voucher of like $9,800.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're struggling or they're trying to rotate their stock. So they're offering gift vouchers in exchange for watches.
Yeah.
In the hopes that perhaps you'll buy a new one and they make the 30%, or perhaps you'll buy. But they've got that Lake Sewa Grand Seiko on their site for $7,500, and that's a over $10,000 watch. So maybe they're hurting.
Look at Sam looking at another Grand Seiko 10 minutes after saying he's not really feeling.
I'd never buy another Grand Seiko again. Oh, did you see that Lake Sewa one that was on there?
Yeah.
That is I have seen that in person, and the Tentograph. Both of those are beautiful. I think titanium might be the way to go for the old GS.
Yeah.
In the future.
Speaking of Hodinkee and to a certain extent, well, I'm going to segue to like Crown and Caliber. they don't seem to be paying out cash for any of the watches that, if you want to sell, or they're offering trade values. Last year, they had a couple of big blowout sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
Around this time of the year. This year, yeah, I mean, you get a text, $500 off, um, but not like anything crazy like you saw the year before. I got a text 1,000 off for anything over $10,000, right? So it leads me to believe, like, or to think, like, what's going on. It doesn't seem like they're really trying to sell. If they were interested in selling some of this inventory that's been there for a while, I would figure they might be going and trying to give out better deals, especially when everybody else is giving out great deals, or even like trying to buy a watch private sale. I mean, people are getting, taken to the cleaners. You know what I mean? Like, big low offers, and maybe people are selling. The economy is slowing up a little bit. Pricing on watches are coming down. So I'm just wondering what's going on in regards to um, Crown and Caliber and Hodinkee. Is Hodinkee, and of course I'm trying to delve deep in the reasoning is perhaps maybe Hodinkee trying to get out of this selling watch business, right? Are they trying to keep these watches on paper? Uh, may look better than if they actually sell and lose a ton of money. They might just look better on paper, and therefore maybe looks better for a potential buyer to buy, this inventory. I don't know. There's something. I feel like there's something going on. I feel like they're shopping around their online sales platform. Any thoughts on that? Am I off base?
No,
What do you guys think?
I think I agree with you, because they bought Crown and Caliber, or was it a merger? It was something. I don't know if they.
I believe they bought them. I believe it was a
Yeah.
straight up
Yeah,
purchase.
and I think
Yeah.
everyone was buying it, but it was Richemont bought Watchfinder, so they've got deep pockets, haven't they? So
Yeah.
they can weather a storm.
Mm.
Whereas Hodinkee was using investor funds, the investor
Mhm.
funds, weren't they, to buy
Yeah.
Crown and Caliber? And it was perhaps when the Hodinkee. I think one of the most glowing bellwether tests of Hodinkee at the moment is the fact that Ed Sheeran watch is plentiful. They did a fluff piece on it today.
It still hasn't
Casio's
sold?
even emailed me about it.
It's
Yeah,
still
Casio emailed me.
it's still available?
But you can buy it on Casio.
Mm.
You can buy it
Wow.
on Hodinkee site. Hodinkee did a complete puff piece on it today. About best our editors picks for best watches of the year, and they put their own watch on there.
Wow.
G-Shock emailed me the other day, last chance to get collabs, and
Yeah.
most of them they tease you because some of the collabs are sold out, but they still put them on the email. But the Ed Sheeran one, I think they can't give them away, honestly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is wild if you think about John Mayer.
Well, yeah, in comparison to John Yeah, right. Exactly.
Crown and Caliber has always given some surprisingly good offers on watches. I guess it used to be they would do it sometimes with cash and trade, and maybe now
Yeah.
it's just trade. But I always thought that some of their offers just didn't make business sense unless they were just trying to build inventory or
Hmm.
just get people to become customers. Just
Yeah.
get
Like a loss
users.
leader and a loss leader for
Yeah.
a portion.
Just to
buy on
get
a
known or to become a leader in the space.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's backfired. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's not working for them. And what was interesting is, kind of, they don't sell it like every brand, right? Years ago, they used to sell Gerard Perregaux, and then they dropped them. And you would see some brands that on the Hodinkee sales site that wouldn't be they wouldn't be selling it in Crown Caliber, but you saw a lot of cross selling there. You saw a lot of the same watches on both sites. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was on Crown Caliber, and I'm looking at their clearance, and they're carrying brands that they haven't carried before, and it's straight from the Hodinkee site, right? So it's just something's going on, right? Something's going on, and we've known for a while that Hodinkee seems to be in trouble somewhat. That Crown and Caliber seems to be in trouble somewhat, and I just feel like at this point maybe Hodinkee is just trying to, like, present the best kind of product they have right there as possible right now, with the inventory that they have, sell it off and get out of this business that they were not successful in, that they cannot compete with some of the likes of 1916 and Watchfinder and whatnot, and just maybe strictly stay as a publisher, as like an online magazine. Albeit now their credibility is just like, not what it used to be. Now it's just like it's like paid advertising, right? So, yeah, man, how quickly they've fallen. I mean, in my opinion, maybe the average person, who's not really into collecting, but just likes watches as a peripheral, finds some value with Hodinkee. But I never go on Hodinkee anymore. I never go on.
Because I think they took that, because they for a long time they were quite successful at selling like the one-offs, and you imagine that there was these guys in like linen suits in Morocco finding these like rare rare Rolexes and buying it off somebody, and then they would have like one of it on their website, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, we found this like super rare Hoya that there's only one of, and that you would pay handsomely for it, but you imagine that it was more like the Hodinkee guys, like, or they had some, a guy going around like these gem hunters, but then they sort of more commercialized it, and it was a little bit, more. I mean, that travel clock, I don't think they ever recovered.
Yeah, that was rough.
They definitely jumped the shark on that one, right? Bobby Watchman is saying, I double wrist the Green Dragon and Reverso Rouge on Xmas. Very nice. Yeah, I like that combination. Hobby Bobby saying, I always wear my dad's watch on holidays since he's passed on. A nice little tribute there. Let's see here. The ships keep sinking. Crown and Caliber's inventory does seem pretty stale. Not impressed with them posts being hodinked. Yeah, Hodinkee is offering me 800 more for my Tudor. Pelagos 39 is offering me 800 more for my Tudor. I don't know if I missed, Scott. Would you?
I think there's another question where it says on forums. I think there was another one. Yeah, he says that then people are offering me on Reddit.
Oh, okay. Ed Sheeran was so toxic that Mayor fanboy Wolfie didn't even bite. How do I say that Sheeran watch is a touch wear with the colorway, splatter paint, and whatever that fire on or flower looking print on dial is. Tough wear. I'm holding out for the Hodinkee Bon Iver collab. G-Shock. Okay. Yeah, Hodinkee really died for me when Jack left, but I'm surprised I haven't seen more of him in Watchbox content. Yeah, there's something going on there for sure. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it is surprising that you don't see him as often as you thought you would. But anyway, hey guys, we made it. We made it to 10 o'clock, which is always good.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised because I really feel like when I start the stream, I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to talk about? And we end up talking about some good stuff anyway, man. Hey, Sam, what do you got going on? Any reviews coming up that the chat should know about?
Yeah. I'll be reviewing I need to review the Citizen. I've got a review. I've got to review the Jack Mason Strato timer. Christopher Ward sent me one that's under embargo at the moment. Familiar design, but they've it's a new size for them, which is cool. And then I'm uploading a video tomorrow morning, which is the worst bracelet that I've ever had on a watch.
Okay.
So that will be tomorrow morning. So check that out. I know a lot of people like my sort of more negative slanted ones. So this is definitely one of those. The cheese grater bracelet. We will.
Is it a current watch, Sam? You're gonna take down a current production watch?
Well, yeah. The watch is fantastic, but the bracelet is not great. And the fact that you can buy the bracelet separately, and I think most people do buy it separately, actually. But it's an expensive addition to add. I won't give too much away, but it's a current production military watch.
I like negative. I like negative.
I might just lean into it. The amount of people that comment on my Grand Seiko one, they're like, "Oh, you lost some money there," and I'm like, "Yeah, but seems to be making it back in the."
That's awesome. That's great.
I might just be the guy that's just an asshole about buyer watches that I don't like.
Yeah, honesty. People like honesty.
Yeah. Hey, we got a big stream next week. Oh,
Yeah.
so before I get into that, there will be no watch soup this Sunday. I have something going on here at the house, a little holiday party for the family. Anyway, but Clayton and I will be doing watch soup next Wednesday evening
Oh,
to make up for it. Yeah. But next Tuesday, as Chaz likes to point out here, the ASS Awards, it's not X-rated. It's Amin Self Strap Awards. It's our yearly awards that we do at the end of the year, discussing topics of our favorite watch, etc., most hated watch. And we'll be joined by the original crew, right, Amin? We have Marcus, Colin, and Joe, and you and myself going through our picks for all the categories over the years, over the last year. And one of my favorite shows of the year.
it's coming up fast. When are we going to do our picks?
I don't know. I mean, like I'm waiting for Marcus to give us the categories. We have the
Marcus
categories.
is out.
Yeah, he's
doing other
gallivanting.
things.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Must be nice. Must be nice to be Marcus.
Yep.
Anyway, so look forward to that. So we'll see you guys next Tuesday for the Amin Cell Strap Awards. Again, Sam, thank you so much. Chat, you were awesome. Great discussion this evening, and of course, Amin, appreciate the support.
Great to be here.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
See you soon.